You are welcome. This is the Messiah Revelation Ministry. We are awakening the Hebrews who are scattered over the world. We are a prophetic end time channel. Our duty is to prepare the world for the second coming of the Messiah, Yeshua Jesus Christ. The prophecies are very clear that he will come the second time. By revelation, the trumpet for his coming has already sounded based upon a vision. I thank all the members of the channel. My special thanks go to everybody who watches the video and also shares the video. We need to blow the trumpet. Today our message is simple. We are saying that the Negroes are the Hebrews. And if you permit me to use the word Negro, I will use it. Is a derogatory term used by Europeans to dehumanize the Hebrews. We need to blow the trumpet. And our message is that the Negroes are the Hebrews spoken of in the Bible. And the Bible refers to Abraham as a Hebrew. The reference is Genesis chapter 14, verse 13. Abraham is referred to as a Hebrew, and his descendants are Hebrews, and the Hebrew Israelites are Hebrews, and the Hebrew Israelites are descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Our message is simple. The Negroes are Hebrews from A to Z. And when I say from A to Z, the A will represent the Abayudaya tribe in Uganda, which is a Hebrew tribe. And the Z will represent the Zakhor tribe in Timbuktu, which is a Hebrew tribe. And so the Negroes are Hebrews from A to Z, from Abayudaya in Uganda to the Zakhor in Timbuktu in West Africa, the place that the Europeans call the Negro land, the place that was the slave coast, the area where we had the kingdom of Judah, the area that became the theater of the transatlantic slave trade, the area from where Europeans kidnapped and captured descendants of Jacob and put them on slave ships to the Egypts of the world. The Negroes are the Hebrews from A to Z. They are the Hebrews from Jerusalem to Timbuktu. The evidence are clear, archaeological evidence are clear. Masada, the ruins of Masada. Masada was a province in the land of Judah in Jerusalem, and they were among the last regions to fall to the Romans. AD 70. Archaeological records show that the men and women in Masada, they had dreadlocks on their hair. They had Negroid features, and it means that they were Negroes. That archaeological evidence repudiates the myth that there were no black people in the Bible, and the myth that the Hebrews or the Jews were white people. Masada, archaeological evidence from Masada support our claim that the Negroes are the Hebrews. Archaeological records recording events happening in AD 70. And you go further to 701 BC, before Christ. And here we are talking about Lachish. And you remember the war that happened in Lachish. And when you read the book of Isaiah, you hear about a king from Nubia, a Negro king from Nubia, a Negro pharaoh from Nubia who ruled Egypt, ancient Egypt. And he came to help in the fight at Lachish, 701 BC, when the Assyrians invaded Lachish. That is in the Bible. Isaiah talks about a Nubian pharaoh, a black pharaoh in Egypt. He was ruling Egypt. He was a Nubian, and you can see that his skin was as dark as charcoal. And he was a warrior, a fierce warrior, a brave warrior. And so he was dispatched to help the people of Lachish against Assyrian invasion. And you know the invasions of the Hebrew Israelites, the Syrian invasion, and you also know the Babylonian captivity, and you know the Inquisition against the Hebrews in Spain and in Portugal, and how Portugal dispersed the Hebrew Israelites to places including Sao Tome Island in Africa. So the Negroes are the Hebrews from A to Z, Abayudaya tribe in Uganda, and the Zakhor tribe in Timbuktu. Why is Uganda very, very significant in our discussion? It is significant because when Lord Balfour was engineering the establishment of the State of Israel, he recommended that the Ashkenazi Jews be settled in Uganda. If you are Jews, there are Jews in Uganda, go and join them. And they accepted it, but later on they changed their mind. And so the British knew that the Abayudaya in Uganda are Hebrews. Abayudaya in Uganda, they are Negroes. The Negroes are Hebrews. And then we go to the Z. The Z stands for the Zakhor tribe in Timbuktu. And so I'm doing a quiz. Where is Timbuktu? Timbuktu is in Africa. And where is it in Africa? In Mali. And Timbuktu is significant in world history because there was a famous university in Timbuktu, University of Timbuktu. And when there was a university in Timbuktu, there was no university in Europe. And there was no Harvard University, no Sorbonne University, no MIT, no Oxford, no Cambridge. There was university in Timbuktu, a Negro university where people from all over the world came to study arts, geography, and science and technology, and to study philosophy, University of Timbuktu. And there was a king in Timbuktu, Azikir Muhammad. He was a Muslim, and he persecuted the Hebrews. He knew that there were Hebrews in Timbuktu, and so they fled Timbuktu, and they went to other places in Africa, and some of them were forcibly converted to Islam, and so that they would lose their Hebrew identity. And somewhere around the 1990s, the Zakhor tribe in Timbuktu, they became bold, and they came out and said, "Yeah, all along, for the centuries past, we were Hebrews, but because of persecution, we went underground. But now we are coming up, and we are coming from the closet to let the world know that we are Hebrews." And so that's the evidence that the Zakhor tribe in Timbuktu, they are Hebrews. And if you like, if you can call them a Jew, but you remember that they were Hebrews before the Jews came. They were Hebrews from Babylon to Timbuktu, Hebrews from Masada to Timbuktu, Hebrews from Lachish in Israel to Timbuktu. The Negroes are the Hebrews. Why is it that now they say they are not Hebrews? They are not Hebrews, but they are Negroes. It's very, very interesting. And the story is interesting because there's a book written by Bruce Haynes, and the title is The Soul of Judaism, Hebrews of African Descent in America. And he made mention of the case of the Ethiopians, the Beta Israel tribe in Ethiopia. And they were saying that you are black and you cannot be Jews. And so they were using race and racism to deny the Ethiopians of their Hebrew identity. You are black, and therefore you cannot be a Jew. You cannot be Jewish because you are black. And later on, they changed their tune, they changed their mantra. You are a Jew, and so you cannot be black. So they were telling the Ethiopians, you are a Jew, we accept it. And because you're a Jew, you cannot be black. And that is racism to the core, because the word Ethiopia, Ethiop, the Greek word for Ethiopia means people of burnt skin. The Ethiopians were known for their dark and brown skin. They were Negroes to the core. And Ethiopia is in the table of nations. They were black people. And so if the Ethiopians are Hebrews, it means that black peoples are Hebrews, the Negroes are Hebrews. And so what strategies did they use? When I say they, the Europeans and the white world, what strategies did they use to deny the Negro of his Hebrew identity? We are going over them one by one. The first one is racism. Racism, the fuseness of whiteness and Judaism. So if you are not white, then you cannot be a Jew. And to them, the one who is a Jew is somebody who is practicing Judaism. And so racism is one of the basis of exclusion, that a Negro cannot be a Hebrew. A Negro cannot be a Jew. And they don't use the word Hebrew, they use the word Jew, forgetting that in the Bible, Abraham in Genesis 14, verse 13, was a Hebrew. The word Jew came into existence when? Is it in the 16th century? Is it in the 18th century? Was the word Jew in the original Bible? No. The letter J, was it in the in the alphabet, the English alphabet, the alphabet in the Bible, the word J, original alphabet? No, it was not. Racism was used to exclude the Negroes from Jerusalem, but the Negroes are Hebrews from A to Z, from Abayudaya in Uganda to Zakhor in Timbuktu, from Masada in the land of Judah in Israel to Timbuktu, from Lachish in Israel to Timbuktu, and from Timbuktu to Trinidad and Tobago, from T to T. So they use racism, number one. Number two, they use geography. They manipulated geography. And how did they manipulate geography? They divided the land of Africa. And so part of the land of Africa was considered as part of the Middle East. And so in biblical scholarship, instead of talking about Africa, they were talking about Near Eastern studies. So Bible scholars, when they were studying Israel, they were studying Near Eastern studies. They were doing Near Eastern studies. In the same way, when they were studying Egypt, they were not studying Africa, they were studying Egyptology. So Egyptology was a word that was used by Europeans to study Egypt, and the purpose for using Egyptology was to create a false impression that ancient Egypt was ruled by white people. And now you see the trick. The lies are coming out. The knowledge is coming out. The ancient Egypt was ruled by Negroes. The civilization that occurred in ancient Egypt was the work of Negroes. The prophet Isaiah is talking about Pharaoh Tihaka. Pharaoh Tihaka, a Nubian pharaoh who was ruling ancient Egypt. And the Nubians are Negroes. Of course, I believe that some Europeans want to be called Negroes. And so they will claim that they were in ancient Egypt. That's fine. If you want to be a Negro, that is fine. But you cannot use a term to deceive and to destroy the Negro heritage, the Negro Hebrew heritage. So geography was used. If Israel is not part of Africa, if Palestine is not part of Africa, then it will be easier for them to project Jesus as a white person, to project Moses as a white person, to project Ephraim and Manasseh as white people living in Britain, living in United States of America. The next strategy, in addition to race and geographical manipulation, is conversion, forced conversion. You are Hebrew, but we will convert you to be a Jew. We will convert you. You practice the religion of Judaism. We will convert you to be a Jew. And this is what they are doing to the Abayudaya in Uganda, and also to the Zakhor in Timbuktu. And Timbuktu is in Mali, so the Zakhor tribe said, no, We are not going to convert to Judaism. We are Negroes, but we are Hebrews. We were persecuted by the Muslims. Asikia Muhammad, 1492. There was persecution of Negro Hebrews in Timbuktu. We are not going to convert to Judaism. And so conversion is one of the strategies used by the Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, to convert so many people, Negroes, to Judaism. So they want their numbers to increase so that they'll have world power. And why would a Negro who is a Hebrew convert to Judaism? Number one, they want international recognition. When Beta Israel in Ethiopia was accepted by the world Jewry, they were flown to Israel. They were given Israeli passports, and a lot of people probably believe that if you convert to Judaism, even though you are originally a Hebrew, they will give you dollars, they will give you euros, and they will give you Israeli passports, and you'll be well recognized. They will build synagogues for you. And that's the case of the house of Israel in Ghana, a Hebrew tribe in Ghana. They, uh, they became famous, and a synagogue in Iowa, United States, went to Ghana and talked to them, and they changed their name and they built a synagogue for them. And so that explains why Hebrew Israelites will convert to Judaism. We're talking about rabbinic Judaism that is based upon the teachings of the Talmud, is not based upon the teachings of the Torah. And so the next strategy to deny the Negro of his Hebrew identity is DNA. We'll take a sample, and your sample has to match the sample taken from Eastern Europe, Ashkenazi Jew. And so they did a sample, and they said, oh, the Limba in Zimbabwe, the Limba in South Africa, your sample matches that of the Ashkenazi Jew, and so you are a Jew, and that is DNA, false methodologies. And the person who has done a lot to debunk this myth is Ronald Darton, a Hebrew Israelite from Pittsburgh in United States, and I recommend his books to you, Hebrews to Negroes, 4 volumes. The next strategy that they use to deny the Hebrew of his identity, deny the Negro of his Hebrew identity, is intimidation. The intimidation comes in many forms, and I would prefer to focus on the spiritual intimidation. If you say anything against a Jew, you hate them, number one. Number two, you also hate God. You hate God. So, oh, man, I'm saying something that the Negroes are Hebrews, and so I am quoting Revelation chapter 2, verse 9, and I'm also quoting Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. The Messiah said there will be people who call themselves Jews. They are not. They are synagogue of Satan. So I'm standing on the corner of St. Paul Street and Martin Luther King Boulevard in Chicago. And I'm saying that the Messiah said, there's a synagogue of Satan. And then you call me a hater. You call me somebody who is anti-Semitic because I'm quoting Revelation chapter 2 verse 9 and Revelation chapter 3 verse 9. So what's the implication? The implication is that you are calling the Messiah anti-Semitic because Revelation 2 verse 9, Revelation 3 verse 9, in my Bible is written in red. Written in red means that it came from the mouth of Yeshua, Messiah, who is the real Messiah. It is not the Messiah who is being expected in Israel. They don't believe in the Messiah. They don't believe in the man from Nazareth. And they don't believe in the icons depicting the Messiah as a black person. And they don't believe in the testimony of the early Christians who knew the identity of the Messiah. They don't believe in that. And they don't believe that the man from Nazareth is even the Messiah. They don't believe in that. They don't. The Talmud says bad things about the real Messiah. And so that is intimidation, spiritual intimidation. You are telling the truth. You are saying the Negro is the Hebrew, and they are saying that you hate God because you hate the Jews. And when I say the Negroes are the Hebrews, then God gives me more visions. God gave me a vision October 30th and October 31st, 2007, where a vision of regathering of the Hebrew Israelites. And a communication came, the African Americans. And so divine revelation pinpoint the Hebrew Israelites in United States as descendants of the Hebrews who will be gathered. When in a vision I saw women singing in the wilderness, shouting, in the name of the Lord, in the name of the Lord. The women that I saw were not white women. They were negresses. They were Negroes. They had dark skin. They were African American women. The Lord showed me in a vision, singing a prophetic song in the wilderness. We are marching to Zion. No longer a Negro. You are a Hebrew. You are a Hebrew from A to Z, from Abayudaya in Uganda to the Zakhor in Timbuktu. You are a Negro from Babylon to Timbuktu. You are a Negro, and you stand on the prophecies in the Bible, the prophecy of restoration of the Hebrew Israelites, the prophecy of the unification of the two sticks established in Ezekiel chapter 37, verses 16 to 17. The stick of Judah and the stick of Ephraim, they will come and they will become one stick, and they will be under the leadership of the lion of the tribe of Judah, who is coming together the outcasts of Israel and the dispersed of Judah. The Negroes are the Hebrews from A to Z, from the Abayudaya Hebrew tribe in Uganda to the Zakhor Hebrew tribe in Timbuktu, in Mali, in Negro Africa. This is my message. My email, raptureafrica@yahoo.com, small letters, one word. Thank you. Share the video, hit on the notification button, blow the horn, blow the trumpet. The time of the redemption of the Hebrew Israelites is now, and we will blow the trumpet. No longer Negroes, you are Hebrews. Thank you.